Hey, it's your friend and host, Courtney Turick, and welcome to Bold Moves, Confident Choices, the podcast where we own our path, make fearless decisions, and get real about what it takes to turn bold ideas into reality. In today's episode, it's all me. I'm here to talk to you about a recent experience in my life. I was listening to a podcast of a dear friend of mine, Kathy Love, called My Self Care. And she was talking to another amazing woman in my life, Jennifer Chapman. And the podcast was about self care, but it focused a lot on adaptability and how adaptability is what helped my friend Jennifer get through a lot in her life. She realized how adaptable she was. And as she's talking, I start to reflect myself. Wow, I think the biggest part about a podcast and what helps me so much, and I hope that Bold Moves, Confident Choices does the same for you, is when you hear other people share stories about their life and what has gotten them through some really big moments, that it helps you to reflect on what you've accomplished and what you're capable of doing, back to inspiring those bold moves and confident choices. So when I'm listening to my friend Kathy, and we call her Jeff, talk about her story, I started to think, wow, I've always called myself a chameleon. And it's a common question that you're asked in a sales capacity. Are you a quote chameleon? Well, what they want to hear is yes, right? They want to hear that you're adaptable to all these different environments. But the reality is, I am a chameleon. I love change. I embrace change. And at the time when I was listening to this podcast, My Self Care, I had just made a big decision to sell my house here in Charlotte and to relocate to Asheville. I've had a lot of fear. All those feelings and those emotions are coming to the surface. And it really made me remember that with every move, every big decision I've had in life, those are the feelings that surface. We tend to forget that, especially when we're in the heat of a big life change, move, job, you name it. Those are the feelings that surround us. While I am excited about my big transition, I'm really scared. You question yourself, is this the right move? You look at the pros, you look at the cons. And I know I'm not making an irrational decision because it's something we've talked about, my husband and I have talked about for the past 4 years. So we finally, instead of just talking, we decided to take action. Enough of the talk. You get to a point where you get sick of hearing yourself talk over and over again. And if you don't do anything about it, then why are you talking about it? Same goes for work, same goes for life in general. So, as I'm again listening to this podcast and they're talking about adaptability, I'm reflecting back on all the moves I've had in my life, remembering what it was like to move from point A to point B, how I felt, how I found my place in that new city. And as I was going through this in my mind, I realized I've moved to 9 different cities. Asheville will be my ninth city in the past 23 years of my life. And then I thought, okay, Courtney, let's take this a step further. How many times have you physically moved from an apartment to a house within that time period? And I will have moved 16 times within 23 years. It was an aha moment for me. Why? Because I could reflect back and I could see each one of those steps that I have taken or took in my life, each bold move to a different city, but how many times I had to pack up and go to a new home. So, something I have learned about myself, number one, the material things do not matter to me as much. I can make anywhere a home. And I'm struggling here in Charlotte because the house we bought a few years ago is my most favorite home I've ever lived in. I look at it still to this day when I pull up and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is where I live. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I got to this place in my life. Being a small town Indiana girl, I didn't really know what dreaming big meant. until I got myself out of Indiana and started seeing what the world had to offer. Once I started that exploration, I never went back. I never went back. It's when I embraced becoming a change agent. It's the moment I embraced being a chameleon, being able to adapt, reading my surroundings, reading the people around. And I really believe it increased my emotional intelligence. When you put yourself in uncomfortable situations in life, you have no choice but to move forward or to fall back. And I always chose to continue to move forward, to continue to elevate my game every step of the way. It didn't come without fear. And back to reflecting on those 9 different cities that I've lived in, each one came with fear. Even my move from Austin to Charlotte, which is where I'm at now, I'll never forget. It was a quick decision. I had the same thoughts as I packed up my house in Austin, had to say goodbye to some very dear friends, and moved to a city I didn't know. So, what I do know and what I learned from listening to someone else's podcast, and again, I hope I'm doing that for you, it gave me the ability to reflect on myself and to remind myself that I got this. I've done this before. It's not new. These feelings are normal. To be afraid, to be excited, to have hesitation, then to maybe even cry. Every single emotion pops up when big change happens in life. That's when you reflect, you surround yourself with your tribe, the people who lift you up, and you keep looking forward. Because no matter what, whatever choice you make in life, embrace it, because that is one thing no one can ever take away from you. And that is the ability to make a choice. So, as I walk away from here today, I hope I have you thinking about all those times when you made significant change, all those times when that fear wanted to hold you back, but you pushed forward and you persevered and you found the way to adapt. We all have it in us, but you've got to believe in yourself. And I want you to know I believe in you. So please go be a better version of you. You have one life. And again, you'll always have the power of choice. Thank you so much for listening today. Go be bold, be confident, and be you. Thanks. Thanks for tuning in to Bold Moves, Confident Choices. Remember, the boldest moves come from trusting ourselves and taking action. If you loved this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, or share with someone who needs a little extra boost to boldness. Until next time, be bold, be confident, be you. Thanks.